Feet on the earth, hearts in the moment. Let's begin. Stephanie, long time. I haven't seen you since Monday? It's Thursday. So, yeah, a long time. And early. We're shooting this one a little early today, so because you have a student this afternoon.
Yep. So
yeah. So here's hoping we have no issues and we can just get through it.
Yeah, that would be great.
So today we're going to be talking about inner work and growth. But hey, before that, we just came from Heart of America in Kansas City, which was a itty bitty show.
Very small.
Very, very small.
It was what, like 15 vendors?
Yeah, it was.
Total?
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, there was not. Yeah. I took a picture and sent it to my husband. And when I was having lunch, I think it was, Friday, the first day of the show. And I was way in the back of the space. And we had less than half
of that
space. Yeah, because they have it curtained off. So we had, I maybe a little more than a quarter, but yeah, less than half of the space is what we were actually taking up for the whole trade show floor. We were by far the biggest booth.
Yep.
And there weren't many there. So, I mean, on one hand, I look at it like it was kind of nice because you didn't, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I think there's so many choices, it's overwhelming. Like I'm looking for scissors and there's, you go to the bigger shows, like next, couple weeks we'll be in Chicago, which is huge. There's going to be scissors.
Like 6 scissor tables.
Yeah, exactly. Half a dozen scissors, if not more. And this one had 2. Yeah. Precision Sharp was there and he was doing some sharpening and selling scissors. And then Magic's was there selling scissors. Both wonderful scissors. If you're looking, I would recommend either one of them. They have good products.
I've heard really good things about Magic's. I haven't tried them personally.
I bought a scissor from them last year at a show. I really haven't had an opportunity to use it yet.
I love how you bought scissors multiple times last year and you grew cats.
I don't even use scissors. Oh, I have my own little dog, but she doesn't get much.
You don't need
she really doesn't get scissors.
Multiple pairs of scissors for
I don't, but they're so pretty.
Yeah.
And I have a puppy coming at the end of the year.
Yes.
So I will need scissors. Let's see. There was, gosh, I don't even know who was there. Like that last row seemed like a lot of kind of fun stuff.
There was like a trainer.
Yes. Yeah. He was walking around with the dog. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That he was walking with the dog and showing off the training. There was no lotion, people. So that was wonderful. There was a dude selling jewelry.
Which Brenda has.
Got roped into one of those balance bracelets. I like it. I don't know if it's really helping.
Really pretty though.
I'm a mess. Body wise, my body is a mess at this moment, but it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Very
so
pretty.
I bought that and I don't know. Angela was there with creative stuff and
Jameson was there.
With their stuff. They do bags and t-shirts and stickers and really fun stuff.
What is their, I know what the brand is.
DMK Boutique.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know.
They do logos too.
Yep.
My actual logo is from them. So if you need if you're looking for logos, they do logos.
Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was very cool. Jameson, her husband, he dropped her off at Texas. I think he set up the booth there too.
Yep.
And then he drove all the way up to Kansas to set up himself.
Yep.
And then he was basically doing the same thing backwards.
Yep. Packed up in Kansas, drove back to Houston to pack her up and then drive.
Yeah.
Home. Somebody said there were 3 shows this weekend.
So there was
Kansas, Texas, and Colorado.
So,
oh my gosh. So somebody,
that definitely didn't help the
it
situation.
didn't help. No, it didn't help. Right. It certainly didn't help. So,
well, and they don't have competitions.
no,
At that
that is
point.
the other thing. Yeah, there's no competition at this Kansas show. Now, this is only the third year that this show has been. So I think I was talking to somebody and I don't know if I was talking to Jim from Barkley or just somebody else. And they were talking about that a show has to be established for a couple years before they can get the sanctions for competitions. So I don't know the inner workings of that. I don't compete. So I don't know.
I know for groom team, you have to be established for a certain amount of years before they'll sanction.
Okay, so therefore that might be why they haven't had competitions yet. So that being said, I think it's going to grow.
Yeah.
Once they add competitions, it's sure to grow. Now this is a different convention center than the one we were in last year. And there was a gaming convention going on like right next to us.
Tabletop gaming convention.
Yeah, which was, I wish we could have. First, we had free time. We could have popped in there and checked out. But when we first got there and we're looking for where we were at, there was like no signs. We're upstairs, downstairs. Like, where are we?
I think it was because we were there before. We were there first, so I think they just hadn't gotten signs.
They just haven't got. Yeah, they hadn't. But we were like,
we went to the one end, and it was a bunch of people dressed up in fancy suits, and they had the cops like out front, and I'm like, this isn't for us.
I hope this isn't for us.
And like you could tell from a distance it wasn't for us, but I don't remember who. One of the people in our group was like adamant that we needed to ask them where it was, and I'm like, it's definitely not over there, guys.
They weren't. Honestly, everybody. I asked like 3 different people, and nobody was helpful. Yeah. Well, 2 of the people I asked were. The one was with the suited people, so she didn't know where we were supposed to be. Another one, I think we just asked somebody random, and they didn't know. Actually, I think the first person I asked sent me to the woman with the suit that didn't know, and then I asked one of the security guys. Yeah, and he was like, "Okay, guys, thanks." Yeah, but we found it eventually, and then they did put signs up later. Yeah. So like, and then it was all good. The average person would have been able to. Yeah, but it was a small show, which and it's nice. Working with Pet Store Direct can be so hectic. So this was a kind of a really nice show. We had a new person in the booth, so it was a good show for her to learn how it works. And then we had another person that was coming, but she had been at one show previously. So again, this was a good show for her to come back to. But it was nice. We had a little crew. So we kind of got to play a little bit. Right? Yeah. Like we got to really interact. Like I did. Like you sometimes get, well, that's not necessarily true because you're usually on a register too. Yeah, I don't usually get a whole lot of it. We're stuck. We're stuck in a box. We can't really move. The only thing that we can really talk to people about is at the register. And it's like, yeah. And I'll like ask them about their like some of their purchases and be like, "Oh, have you tried this before?" kind of thing. But like, I never really got a chance to like. I always ask them about classes. Yeah. But this one, we got to talk to people. Well, you were actually on the sales floor like that. Yeah. Like you weren't even on a register other than to just kind of breaks and help people out. You were actually selling. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. That was really fun, actually. 10 out of 10 would do that again. Yeah. I had a good time. I sold the table. I sold the cabinet. You sold the cabinet dryer. I sold the table. We good. It was the Durapets cabinet dryer, the one that looks like a toaster or an oven. Microwave, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I managed to sell that after I spent like the 20 minutes before we opened. I was researching all of the safety features. Good. Because I knew that was going to be like the number one question. So is it safe? So I've been I shouldn't even say been on the fence. I've been like, no, I won't do it. I won't buy one. I wouldn't put a cat in it. They scare the shit out of me. I'm like, maybe because, I'm watching videos. In fact, I watched video that another groomer was there, and she had a couple videos. One with a cat in it and one with a little dog in it. Mm-hmm. And it was like, maybe I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for the tools that make our jobs, easier as long as they're safe, right?
Yes.
Like that's my fear is I don't want
And
it to
honestly,
be unsafe.
like we don't have a need for it here,
Right, you don't.
but I want one anyways after like finding out about it because it was like, yeah, they have HEPA filters in there, which is awesome to keep things safe for them. But then there's a timer that in general is always going where it only goes for 99 minutes at a time. But you can set a timer. So if you want to have just if you want it to be just you check every 5 minutes even, you can set the timer and it will stop. It will stop with like the drying features at that time. And then it'll still have like, it has like the vents and stuff. So it has like the airflow going still. So they're not just like sitting in there suffocating. Cause that was my next question is I'm like, once it turns off, like, can they still breathe?
Right. It looks a little,
it looks
frightening.
scary.
It does look frightening.
Like there's a sensor in there that senses the temperature and it also has a humidifier or a dehumidifier. So if it goes over a certain percentage, that dehumidifier kicks on so that they're not just sitting in that like muggy, they're never going to get dry that way.
I mean, these have been around for a couple of years, so they're just getting better.
Yeah.
And I have the perfect setup for it.
Yeah,
I'm
do.
just in one room. I'm right there. I can keep an eye on it. So, I mean, I really do have a perfect setup for it. So, and I'm thinking about adding, well, I shouldn't say, I am going to be adding dogs back into my schedule. And I don't know exactly when. And I'm still kind of working out the hows, like what kind of schedule that's going to look like. But I'm going to be adding dogs.
Yeah.
So so that was cool. So we had it was a good show.
One last thing, there's also red light therapy in there. So they can also be getting red light therapy, which I love.
Oh, that's nice for the old arthritic ones.
Yes. So use it on my hips this week.
I don't think you're getting in there. They do have a big one. Yeah. That one of our coworkers fits in. Now she's tiny. She's not that tiny. She's
taller at least.
She's tall, but she's thin.
Skinny.
But she, they said she got in it. And I thought, oh my gosh, of course she did.
Yep, she did. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. The only drawback is our teardown was still, it was still horrific. Like, it was I thought it was a good setup. I thought our setup was pretty smooth. We have to figure out how to do teardown. Yeah. We were all over the place. It felt like we were working with a bunch of it felt like we had like a dozen people that didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. That's how it felt to me. I feel like I touched everything and never
nothing at the same time.
Nothing at the same time. Like we had blades that were just all over the place. I felt, I got all the blades packed up. I thought. Then all of a sudden, here's another blade box because the shelf got moved, and we still had electrical hooked up. I mean, it just wasn't. There needs to be an order of things.
Yeah,
with setup and tear down. And
I think because also it was a very as far as the groomers go, like me and you were the only of the 4 groomers, the only ones who had any real experience with it.
With this, yeah.
And on top of that, there's a lot of things that we don't usually get involved with, like the electricity and stuff like that.
We don't do any of that. We have to let that somebody else has to do that. But even that wasn't getting done like I feel like it should have. Like it's gone a lot smoother at other shows.
Yeah, but we don't have our normal.
We didn't have a normal team.
Yeah, it's not the normal.
We were missing
our team.
Yeah, we were missing a few key players.
Our truck guy.
Yeah,
it was a very different truck guy.
He's a newer truck guy. He's driven. He drove at least to one other show.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
But he's not a warehouse guy,
and he's not a groomer either. Like he doesn't have any experience. With any of the, so he's figuring. Right, I think a lot of it was he didn't know what most of it was,
which is maybe good. This is a good show for him too. But yeah, so teardown was still kind of brutal.
Yeah,
very brutal.
So our electric person, different electric person.
He was the electric.
That he ended up being the electric person, and
so there was just a lot of and because it was such a small show, they were doing a lot of content stuff.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot of videos for their website and stuff, which is cool, but it kind of got in the way of we just want to go home. Can we just wrap this up?
Yeah.
But whatever. It was still a good show. I still enjoyed it. I definitely like there to be the small shows somewhere in there.
It's a nice
right. Like New England was a nice show because it was a smaller show. So you could, you didn't, it wasn't so, you didn't feel so tense.
Yeah.
It was just more relaxing and you could just kind of enjoy it. And I need to be able to enjoy it. And I got to move around. And that was a big thing. Like we talked about my feet, my back. I'm in so much pain. And I think a lot of it is I'm standing at a register, even with a anti-fatigue mat, it's not enough.
Yeah. And
it's not an anti-fatigue mat. It's a paw mat that I'm standing on. It's not quite the same.
It's
for 8 hours.
Right.
It's not the same to stand on for 8 hours. But if I could just move around, get away from the register and move around for a couple of hours and then, then go back to the register, that's
otherwise you get kind of stiff.
That's what's happening. I think I'm just getting stiff. And so this was nice because I could move. Like I walked away from the register multiple times. I'm getting better at understanding clippers, which, that's another thing they keep putting me on the clipper register.
You gotta get to know your clippers, man.
Anything about these clippers, but I actually was really paying attention and trying to help. And and we sold a lot of clippers.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are selling clippers like crazy.
Considering the amount of people at the show, I mean, we had multiple people buy multiple clippers, so that was kind of cool.
We also had there was a lot of people who were coming multiple times. Like after the first couple hours on Friday. We didn't really get any new people.
No, it was just the same people.
Same people keep coming back for more
because
things.
They're doing classes. What are they going to do between classes? They're just going to walk around the trade show and, so we had a lot. And it was nice. We made up little baggies with our podcast cards. And I had little crystals that we had bought last year. I think on the way to Hershey.
I think
last year we bought some crystals and some little cards with little affirmations. I don't even know what's on them. And then I bought some candy, and they had these little muslin bags. So I, made up little bags, and we gave a bunch of those away along with just some cards with our podcast. And it was nice. So and a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh," excited that, "Oh, I didn't know you did this," and they were, telling me we're really excited to listen. So so hopefully
hello
to
those new listeners. Hopefully,
hello Kansas City listeners or Kansas City area listeners. Welcome.
I really like that hotel.
It was a nice hotel.
Yeah. I like the restaurant actually. Their food was good.
The restaurant was fine. The drawback was the parking elevator. So you go in, the parking lot's kind of I guess it's on the side of the hotel, and they have a little entrance, and you can either take the stairs up to the lobby or you could take the elevator to the lobby, but that's it. That's as far as you can get.
And there's no instruction.
It's very, very crazy. Hot. Like, oh my gosh, like no air in that part, which is, I swear the heat was on in that elevator. Like I could feel the heat on in the elevator. That was rough. But beyond that, I actually had a whirlpool. Actually sat in the hot tub the first night for 15 minutes. And I got in the pool. I had the pool all to myself. And then the kids came. And then the kids came. And I don't know if there was a polo match or something.
I saw
lacrosse. That's what it was.
But I think there might have been another team there because I saw volleyball.
So there must have been some tournaments going on around the area. But
they cleared the fuck out of those vending machines.
The vending machines were wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah. And the vending machines were on my way out to the car where I was going to smoke.
Yeah.
And so I kept ending up running into large crowds of preteens.
Yeah.
All crowded around the vending machines. And
we didn't have any issues on our floor, but apparently some of our team, the floor they were on, they had some rowdy kids that were actually pounding on their doors, and they had to actually call and people. If you're gonna have, I remember I used to chaperone for my kids and at their school things, and they did not leave. That was not happening when it got to be a certain time of night. You're in your room, and we would lock them in. And I say that like we would tape the door. And we would tape the door in multiple spots. Now, they could open the door. Like, there was no safety
issues. It was so that you could tell.
But it was, we could tell if they opened the door.
Yeah.
And then we could, and that way we would know. And they didn't, we didn't have any issues. I remember the first time I didn't chaperone my oldest daughter, and she happened to be her first trip, I can't remember where she went, but it was on her birthday weekend. So I thought, I'm going to send, them a treat. And I knew she had like four girls in the room. So I called the hotel and I said, can you send, like ice cream sundaes or something like that up to this room? And so they did. Well, I didn't know about the security measures. Like, I didn't know about them getting taped in. So when somebody came to their door and was knocking, they didn't know what to do. So they called their teacher. And so he had to come down and, open the door, or, let them open the door and everything. And yeah, he said, yeah, it's cool, but just let me know next time. Oh, okay. I had no idea.
Yeah. No.
But yeah. And so, if you're going to have kids, be respectful. Even dogs, like we do all these dog things. Like, we've had shows where the dogs don't, people aren't cleaning up after their dogs. And that's a good way to never be invited back, if you're not going to take care of that. We had somebody come through the booth and their dog vomited.
Yeah.
And they just left. They didn't say, nobody said anything to any of us workers.
Yeah.
Well,
I do wonder if maybe they didn't notice.
They knew,
but
it was everywhere. Like, it was a big, you could have not known.
And I am so glad that Brenda cleaned that up, because I would have been over there.
Well, somebody's got to clean this up.
Yeah, I would have done it.
And the girl next to me, she's kind of like, yeah, I agree. So I'm like, well, then watch the register. Because of course, in the time we actually have people, because it was between classes. So, and there was a group that were kind of standing around it, guarding it. So I, went and got paper towel and cleaned it up and make a note. Like, we need to have paper towel. We should have some kind of a cleaner so that we can wipe up messes like that. And yeah, but it was a good show. So, and on the way there, we did make stops, because that's what we do. And we stopped at two places in Iowa.
Yep.
In
Davenport,
Iowa. And I got a How to Be a Moonflower book, which is just got all these really
cute,
pretty pictures.
I love that.
But I started reading it, and yeah, it reminds me of Mary Engelbreit, whom I love. I always loved her books.
Yeah.
And then I got Mythical Monsters, and it's a coloring book. You got one too.
I got that one. Yeah.
So that's a coloring book. And then I got two other coloring books.
Is it from the same people?
Same people. Yeah. I think it's the same people. Nope, different. Yeah, no, same people. So this one's Ivy Witch Helps Cotton Candy Kittens, and then Ivy Witch Meets Messy Dragons.
Nice.
Coloring book. So yeah, I got some coloring books. I don't know. What else did I get? You got some stickers. I think I got a sticker.
Yeah, I got the one they say, have the day you deserve.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for the car.
Yeah. And then, I got some crystals. I got a pretty blue one that I can't remember the name of, and a opalite worry stone. And I got some bones.
Yeah, that's right. You got bones.
There's a pheasant skull that's like painted black with a little crystal through the eye. And then it just says canine leg bone dipped in like borax to get the borax crystals. So when I saw canine, I was like, I feel like that needs to be
at my house.
I don't know. So
yeah, I know. I'm not drawn to bones.
I love bones.
I'm not drawn to bones. I did buy a couple of little tiny crystals. I don't even remember what I bought either. But they're in a little baggie, and they're like travel crystals. That was at the first store we stopped at, which we have to look into that one, because there was a creepy dude there that we made some notes, but we should probably like look that up online and make sure nothing happened.
Yeah. There was this guy, I'm pretty sure he was on like heroin.
He was on something.
He was definitely on. It was. I don't know. I want to say either heroin or meth.
He was on something.
But yeah, he was not making us comfortable. And the person running the shop was like the mother of the owner, and she's this little old lady.
She had to be in her 80s.
The nicest little old lady.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like, are we leaving this?
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. we just kind of knew, like,
Yeah.
kind of hovering.
We were both kind of like, we're not leaving if he's still here kind of thing. And he did leave, and we watched him like leave, go down, walking down the street.
Yeah. So,
and then we stayed a little bit after to make sure he didn't come back.
Yeah. And then we left.
Yeah. But we wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that was good. All right. We should probably get into this.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That would help.
Okay. So the moon phase for this is the air date of this is August 27th. And the moon phase is full moon.
Woo!
Yeah, sturgeon moon. We never get full moons. It seems like we never get full moons when we do this. Did I miss something?
No, just a little funny thing. The other day, Tuesday, we had a bunch of shit happen that just went, everything was out of control. I'll explain later. It was with the AC and couch and all sorts of stuff. But John, at the end of the day, he's like, is it like
Gatorade?
Yeah.
Mercury and Gatorade?
Yeah. Is Mercury in retrograde? And I was like, I don't know. And I looked it up. It's actually in retrograde. So I'm like, how'd you know, John?
Because it was a shit day. All right. So full moon. Let's see. Time traditionally associated with illumination, clarity, gratitude, and seeing things as they truly are. It's an ideal phase for reflection, celebrating progress, and releasing habits that no longer serve us. So a full moon invites us to ask, what have we outgrown? Where have we become more confident? What habits are we ready to release? And what deserves celebrating? So it's really a perfect time for this inner growth, to be looking at that stuff. For pets, animals often remind us to stay present. They don't worry about yesterday's difficult groom or tomorrow's schedule. They respond to the energy we bring into the moment, which I think we can learn so much because we should be living in the moment.
And I think actually we always talk about how like the full moon affects the dogs.
Yeah. It's not always negative though. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like, this is a good way to kind of look at it. The animals are reminding us to stay present.
Yeah.
Like just like the full moon, like it's reminding us to stay present.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at it like the full moon is making you guys crazy, which is what you want to think, we can think of it like that. So I like that.
All right. So I did something slightly different this time around. I pulled the tarot at home this morning so that I could actually sit with it because I feel like I was pulling it at the moment and I never really, it seemed to work out. Like it made sense, but I just wanted to be able to take a moment to actually like, this is what we're doing. What tarot am I going to get? And then I actually kind of look into what that means and how it fits. So our tarot pull for the day is the Lovers. So it's the trust between groomers and pet client relationships and alignment. Let's see. It signifies perfect union and harmony. It can represent finding the balance within ourselves, understanding myself, my personal moral code, and what I value in life. So it is definitely a very fitting pull. Yeah, which it's funny because before I really understood tarot and I would just kind of like look at the cards and see the pictures, I just assumed the Lovers is, it's a relationship card, right? Like between lovers or, spouses or girlfriend, boyfriend. And
but it's all relationships.
It's a partnership, right? Yeah. It can be any partnership, any relationship fits in with it. So I liked it. I think it was a good pull.
That is a good one.
Good pull. All right. So what is inner work? Inner work doesn't have to mean shadow work or deep spiritual practice. This is something that can just be, learning from our mistakes, becoming more patient, improving communication, recognizing emotional triggers, and growing professionally. So, I have a 12-step background. So this reminds me of step 10, which is to continue our personal inventory. And, so these are the things we should be doing this on the daily, right? Mm-hmm. Reflecting on, the good, the bad, the ugly. What did it say earlier about dogs and, they don't worry about the yesterday's difficult groom or tomorrow's schedule. And while those things we can't necessarily ignore, we shouldn't give them too much attention, but we should give them attention, right? So this kind of reminds us that we should be checking in on ourselves, our pets, our business regularly, and when things feel off, Why do they feel awe?
Yeah.
You know, why is this dog on my schedule or this cat on my schedule? Why am I, aggravated by it? I had an incident yesterday. I had 4 grooms scheduled. First groom shows up, no problem. Second groom is the rabbit. We're chugging away, and all of a sudden it's like an hour's passed, and it's like, wow, there's still so much to do. She was in pretty bad, her legs were in really bad shape. But I've kind of decided that an hour is it. I'm not spending more than an hour on this bunny rabbit, that mom needs to do a little more at home. And they try, and the bunny's not very cooperative at home. So we're just kind of working with what we got. She makes appointments, so she's coming every 6-7 weeks, which has helped. But yeah, that's last time she was definitely in kind of bad shape. So work in progress. But then my third cat is scheduled at 1:00. It's a new cat, so she comes in. I have her fill out her paperwork. She leaves. Take the cat there. She came a little early, which was actually good. So we got everything squared. She leaves. I get downstairs. My doorbell rings. And I'm thinking, now, the night before, my 2:00 cat confirmed. 2:00 tomorrow. Yes, 2:00 tomorrow. So at 1:00, when my doorbell rings, I'm thinking, who is at my door? Like, did I goof? Because I've goofed my schedule, right? Like, who's here? I hear Sam, he's home, he opens the door and he's talking about, oh, you're dropping off a cat. As I'm coming up the stairs, I'm thinking, sure enough, it's my 2:00 cat, an hour early. And she's like, I know I'm early. And I'm just like, I cut her off. And now a lot of times I would be like, that's okay. And I would take the cat, but her cat is not an easy cat. The cat on my table is brand new. I don't know how he's going to be, but I also like you confirmed with me yesterday, like, your appointment is at 2:00 and you're going to show up an hour early. I was like, no, can't come back. You better come back because can't do it. And she left. She left. And she's telling me that the cat pooped. And I'm thinking, well, you got time to take it home and clean it up because I can't help you. And she left. So it's, and those are things that, and then it bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
It bugged me, and I had to think about it, and I had to go, you know what though? I handled it the way I should handle it. No, you can't, you've got to come back. Appointment times are not optional.
Yeah. Especially with yeah, it's in your home.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Where am I going to put your cat while I'm working on another cat? It's not fair to the other cat.
Like, I understand some people, like, they think that, like, the school, like, it's a salon, and they think that it's like other salons where they just have a bunch of dogs there. So, like, I understand when people are not, like, when they don't respect my time that way.
Right.
Because, like, it's like they just didn't know. I could explain it. And
that's a new client.
Yeah, but this is also, this is in your home. So there should already be the expectation of this is going to be different than a salon. And, like, this is a client that who has been to you before.
And then she had actually called me. So she called me just before 1:00 and left a message, which I listened to after I sent her, because I didn't realize she had messaged me. And so I happened to see it, and I listened to it. And her message was, I've checked your website. We have an appointment. I confirmed our appointment today. I checked your website for directions. It says you're closed. I don't know what's going on. I'm on my way. And I thought, Sam listened to it. He's like, is it on the website? I'm like, no, I mean, it's not. I'm closed Monday to Sunday, Monday. That's what my website said. So after all of this, I pulled it up. I thought, okay, punch it in my website, Google, and you get the Google ad, and that one says I'm closed, which I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it says I'm closed. So I'm not changing it, because you know what? I don't want Google.
Yeah. We don't have hours listed on ours.
Yeah.
Because we are by appointment only.
I am too, but I still have, like, your appointment's going to be within these parameters for these days. But it's on my website. So I thought, well, you didn't look at my website. You just pulled up Google.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, you know how the internet works. You know how Google works. You know how websites work. You know that that's not the website.
I love that she was like, but I'm still coming.
Yeah, I'm still on my way. Not I'm going to wait and hear from you, but no, I'm on my way, and an hour early. So anyways, let's see.
Did she bring the dog back or the cat back?
Yes. Yep. She came back. She came back at 2. Yeah. So she came back, and he was, and then she's like, you have to give him water. or can you give him water? That's what she didn't tell me I had to. She's like, give him water because he's been in the kennel. And I'm thinking, that's not on me. And I don't, I just don't offer water. He was in and out in less than an hour. So
yeah,
take him home, let him get his water home. But he was a mess. And I don't shave him, but I think the next time she comes, he might be a shave because he was kind of a mess. And and he's not very cooperative. He's a 2-person cat. He's not feisty. He's just not cooperative, and he's strong. And it's like, I need like 3 hands. I need to be Stitch. Yep. I need like just another couple of hands that pop out so that I can just get this done. But so he's a 2-person cat for me, and just to do it safely and to do it quickly because he doesn't like it. Mm-hmm. So he needs to kind of get in and out. And the new cat was okay. He got a little cranky at the end, moving his legs around. He did not want me around his butt hole at all, which I don't blame him. I don't like butt stuff either. So I get it. I got to be really drunk.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that drunk. So he was like, nope, don't touch that.
Not drunk enough for that.
Not drunk enough for that. So, but he was okay. He was okay. So I'll see him again. All right. Growth happens one groom at a time. So difficult dogs that taught us patience, cats that taught us observation, clients that taught us communication, and mistakes that became turning points. So can you think of some of those mistakes that became turning points for you off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head. I know there's been times, but not off the top of my head.
Well, I've done like scheduling, and I still do this. Like I still get kind of frazzled when I'm scheduling. So I don't know how everybody else. So I don't do, when I had my shop and I was doing dogs, I would give everybody their card when they would come to pick up. I'd say, okay, here's your next appointment. Mm-hmm. And I would, make a note. Do you, what schedule do you want to be on? And I would give them like, you want 4, 6, or 8 weeks. I didn't give them any more, just 4, 6, or 8 weeks. And they would pick, and then I would just write it down about same time, same day, same time. And I would hand them their card when they would come to get their dog. The only time I didn't is if for some reason the schedule there was gonna be a conflict. Then it, maybe can you do an hour earlier or an hour later, or the next day, whatever it was. But usually I would just say, here's your card. You're coming back. I don't do that with cats. I kind of just let them just text me. And because I'm so part-time, it's never been an issue, right? Like but what happens, what would inevitably happen is that my phone rings like crazy. I got, just 2 pages, or a full page, 2 columns of messages for people that want to get it in to get groomed. So I go through the list, I get everybody called back. I used to do every day. Like I would just be like, I was on all the time. Mm-hmm. And nope, can't do that. I've got to, nope, these are my hours, which is another reason why I have hours on my website, because I'm not going to call you back on Monday. I'm not going to call you back on Sunday. The only time I respond to those is if like they have an appointment on Tuesday and they need to change it or they need to confirm it. Yes, then I will absolutely, I check them, but I don't respond to them until Tuesday when I'm working. So I've gotten better at that. But scheduling wise, I don't really. So I have all these calls and I start calling people back and I'm moving people in, and nobody wants to wait 2 weeks for an appointment, right? They're all calling when their cats are ready. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to get everybody in. So inevitably I'll have like a week where I'm packed, but then next week there's nothing. Yep. I'm doing like last week it was crazy. I'm trying to get everybody in because I'm going out of town. Now this week, other than the 4 grooms I did yesterday, I've got like nothing but nail trims. Yeah. And then I have 4 cats on Saturday. But it's like nothing but nail trims. I had nail trims on Tuesday. I have nail trims this afternoon and tomorrow. And then so I groomed yesterday and I'll groom Saturday, and everything in between has been nail trims. Which, I mean, it's nice. It's more relaxing, but it's also like I'm not making enough money on just nail trims, right? Like I need more steady. So I think that's been a turning point for me. And then deciding to add dogs and really thinking about what the schedule is going to look like and realizing that I need to get my cats to schedule. Yeah. Even if they want to go 4 months,
they need to schedule.
They need to get on the schedule so that I can, so I can have that. And then they can too.
Yeah. And I always tell the client, like, we're just going to get it on the books. If something comes up, as long as you give me the 24-hour notice, we can get it fixed.
Yep.
and we can change it for you.
We can always make adjustments when we need to, but
like this way you have something.
Yeah.
Because if we wait, I can't promise we'll have something.
Yeah. I think I'm actually going to not do Saturdays. I'm not going to offer Saturdays is what I should say. I think I'm going to go on my website and I'm not going to offer Saturdays. I'm going to change that to no Saturdays. And then the people that are my current Saturday cats,
they can stay
on the Saturdays. They need and then I'll also, if I come across a cat I need help with until Sam retires, they'll have to be on a Saturday, I'll often move them to Saturday, but I'm not going to offer Saturdays.
Yeah.
Because I do get people that call and go, I prefer Saturday. And right now I give it to them. And I think I'm just going to go, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah. We don't have that available. Yeah,
Saturdays are no longer going to be available.
And that's another thing too. Like a lot of times, and I do it too, where I get flustered when they're they don't want to wait. But if that's the only option, they're going to fucking wait.
People can, it's funny. I remember when COVID happened, right? And, and everything kind of shut down and a lot of people were in panic. I gotta have, and I get it. We work for ourselves. Now I have my husband's income. He never stopped working during COVID.
Yeah.
And his income's always been our main income, right? So we were fine. We were okay. I mean, as far as, our finances weren't interrupted. Some people's were this is, some people, this is my only income. And if I don't work, I don't get money. And, that money they had set up, that wasn't going to last, right? That wasn't enough for people to actually survive. So I get that there was a lot of people that were panicked. But I'm sitting back grooming is not a fucking emergency. We do haircuts. We do baths.
I was in the same position.
People can do baths at home. People can brush and comb their pets at home.
I did videos and stuff for my clients. This is how you brush.
I couldn't agree that, it's, this is what was the term they were using? An essential.
Essentially.
This is an essential. And it's if it becomes an emergency, medically, that's what the vets were for. And they were still working.
Yeah.
They were still working.
It would have been emergency things it would have been stuff that we would have sent to the vet anyways.
Right. If it's a true emergency, we shouldn't be handling.
Yeah,
right?
It should be going to the vet.
Right. Ingrown toenails. I don't fuck with ingrown toenails. That shit goes to the vet because when it comes out, that needs to be cleaned and that needs to be, dealt with. And I'm not. If I cut it, that's above my pay grade as groomers. Unless you also have some medical background and you're licensed for that shit, we should not be doing that. Mm-hmm. That's stuff that needs to see a vet. So I kind of struggled with that, but but also it's none of my business. I didn't go back to work. I waited, but I had a client with a little Maltese. Bless her heart. I assumed she was going somewhere else because I made it clear that I'm not coming. I don't want anybody coming to my house right now. Well, I have asthma. My husband has asthma. My elderly dad was living with us, and it's it's early. We don't really know. We weren't getting good information from from our our government at the time. It was very.
I was kind of I had an autoimmune disease, so I was I don't want to fuck with this.
No, we don't know what we're dealing with. I don't trust what we're getting, the information we're getting. So I was very cautious because it's not just about me, right? Like I said, my husband and my dad, I'm not putting or even my clients. I have a lot of elderly clients. Stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
It's a haircut. Your cat's going to survive. You've waited 18 years to get your cat groomed for the first time. I think they'll be fine for another couple months, right?
Yeah.
But I had a little dog, because this was before I started just doing cats, and she waited for me. So that poor little dog, she went 4.5, I think.
Oof.
I think technically from the time she was due, she was 4.5 months past due.
Yeah.
And she was usually an 8-week dog. So she was a mess. But they were cool and, do what you got to do. And she got a little shorter haircut than she was used to that time. But yeah, they waited for me.
And I just thought she survived.
Yes. My gosh, she was fine.
Yeah.
She was absolutely fine. She was absolutely fine. She hated it as much as she always hated it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Stories we tell ourselves. So imposter syndrome. which is a really good article in the last Groomer to Groomer, I believe, that our Allison wrote about imposter syndrome. Comparison. Have you ever compared yourself to the other groomers all the time, right? Like they're faster than me. They're, their grooms are better than mine. And, or the other way around, like they're really slow. Why are they so slow? And that's not even a good groom. And we do that. How much they charge? Should I be charging more? Should I charge less?
Just know that I'm judging you for not charging enough.
I know you are. I know you are.
All of you.
You should judge me.
Even if you think you're charging enough, you're not charging enough.
I'm not good enough.
I say this, and I'm terrible at having my prices at a good price.
Right. Everybody else has figured it out except. So this, I kind of made a note for myself. I call this my chakra rosary, right? So it's just the chakra stones, and I say it like a rosary, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's I'm safe, I'm connected, I'm strong, I'm deserving, I speak the truth, I trust my intuition, and I'm aware. So, I have clear quartz, amethyst, sodalite, green aventurine, tiger's eye. One of these is red agate, and one of them is red jasper. And for the life of me, I can never remember which is which. I think this is the agate, and this is the jasper.
I feel like the jasper is usually that more creamy.
Yeah. So that's what those are my on this on Etsy. If anybody's interested. I bought 2 more after this one because my grandkids would play with it. So I bought them each one. Well, no, they didn't ask. I just got one. I just got them each one. So, but yeah. So this is my rosary.
Nice.
But I think of that. So when I'm going through that, like that imposter syndrome or the comparison, like I just remind myself that, I'm deserving, right? Like I deserve everything I have and, and more. Let's see, boundaries are part of growth, right? So saying no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. It's funny because my niece has been messaging me and I think I told you this. She sent me a message at midnight on a Sunday, and I didn't get it until the next morning when I get up and I see that I have this message, and it's a Facebook Messenger message. I open it up and she's asking me, I'm sorry it's late, or I know it's late. Can you take me to an interview at 2:00 tomorrow? Well, no, I can't. Like I'm working. And I told her, I said, I'm sorry, I'm working. And then she didn't say anything. Not I understand or thanks anyways. Just nothing. Which is kind of her way of doing things. It's just who she is. But I thought, gosh, if you'd did you just find out about this interview at midnight?
Yeah.
Of course not. You've probably known about this interview for at least since Friday or Saturday. Why didn't you reach out Friday or Saturday? Because then maybe I could have, or if I couldn't, I would give you time to take someone else. So anyway, so that was that. And she's done this before. Can you help me? No, I can't. Crickets. Okay. She only really reaches out when she needs something, which fine. It is what it is. But then she sends me a link to an online book fair party or something like that. I didn't even, I'm like, I don't need any books at the moment. And I don't really have, no, thank you. I didn't say anything. Then she sends me a message while we were out of town. I can't remember what she was asking for then. And I just said, I'm out of town. And then she sent me another message today or yesterday. Do you have a wagon? Because we have this wagon and she's borrowed it before. And I'm trying to think, I don't think we do. I mean, I still own a wagon, but I don't think it's at the house. The kids took it, and I think it might be at his sister's house right now, which is fine. They're the only ones that use it.
Yeah.
We don't use it unless,
Yeah.
So I was like, no, sorry, no. And again, crickets. And it's just but she just keeps messaging me. And it's like, where is this coming from? What's going on with you? Anyways, I don't even know why I brought that. Oh, boundaries. No, I can't help you. No. And Sam's like, you just need to say no.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I can't, but I mean, I would love to help her if I could, but it's like, I don't have the time. I don't have,
especially not last minute.
The last minute. It's like, no, I can't do that. All right. So boundaries are part of growth. Pricing confidently, right? I used to always, when people would say, how much is it? I would be like, $40. And always phrase it like I was afraid they were going to $40. So learning how to say put my prices out there firmly, and I'm better at that. Protecting my body. So ergonomics, we didn't have that when I started. You know, we didn't have. Well, I think we had hydraulic tables. I don't remember electric tables until a few years later. We had hydraulic tables, but they were so new on the market, and I just had the plain folded table that was the height it was, and it didn't matter what size dog you're putting on it. You got to figure out how to do it because that's your table. So now we have electric tables, hydraulic tables. We have tables that go 6 inches from the floor and 45 inches in the air, which is terrifying. But there are tall groomers, so I get it. Protecting your time. Now, I'm pretty good at protecting my time. My time is the most important thing for me. Like, I don't care. I care so much less about prices, and I value my time. I value my time to myself. I value my time with my husband. I value my time with my kids, and I will change everything to do the things I want to do with my time. And then protecting our peace, which, part of all these other things is part of that, protecting my peace. Like, I'm not gonna groom animals that don't bring me peace. I could struggle. I still have plenty of cats that I struggle with, that I need help with, frustrate the shit out of me, but they're nice cats. I like cats. I like the owner, and I'm going to struggle through some of them. But there's also the ones where, I don't want to deal with this customer anymore. I don't want to deal with this cat anymore.
99% of the people that I drop, clients that I drop, are because of the owners. I can't.
Absolutely.
And the animals, I can almost always be like, I can work with this.
Yeah. And unfortunately, here's the thing. I'm all for, Sam and I have this conversation pretty often about, speaking out and speaking our truth and not staying quiet, right? That's happening. There's also this, advocating for ourselves, right? Advocating for the pets, and, and owners advocate, they're always being told, advocate for your pet. So I think sometimes there's this kind of a miscommunication, you're advocating for your pet isn't demanding my time.
Yeah.
Or, negotiating the price of the service. It's making sure your pets are safe, right? Like, I don't think, even in my home, if a new client, or even an old client for that matter, wanted to see where I groom, I would make it a point to let them to see where I groom. And I think that's important. Now, does that mean they get to stay and help? No, but you can see where the magic happens. Absolutely. That's not a secret. I will walk you through what I do and how I do it. That doesn't mean you're going to stay and watch or help. But I don't know, protecting my peace. All right, celebrating progress. So invite reflection. What have I improved? Better scissor work, right? So maybe better scissor work, better cat handling, more confidence, better posture, better communication, better work-life balance. I feel pretty good about my work-life balance at the moment. Like I said, although I need more work. I do need more work, which is why I'm adding dogs back to my schedule. Posture. I have an electric table. It's not plugged in.
You still haven't plugged it in?
No, because I told you I tried plugging it in, and the cord needs to be moved to the other side of the room. Because currently where it's at, it hangs. It's like this far off the floor. And I just know
you're going to trip.
I'm going to break my neck.
Yeah.
So it can't be plugged in. So Sam needs to put in another outlet on this side so I can plug it in on this side. So it's on his to-do list. I think looking at that box dryer, I'm seriously thinking about that. Would that help me? Would it make a difference? Would it make enough of a difference that it's worth it for me to have it? I don't have a busy salon. I'm never going to have that busy salon because I've never been that groomer.
Yes.
I've never enjoyed having animals, multiple animals at one time. And, that's not who I am. So I have to look at it would it be worth it for me to have this? I don't know. So that's something that I'm kind of thinking about. Better cat handling. I'm always looking to improve my cat handling because they're all different, so I'm always looking for, okay, what's going to work with this cat?
Yeah.
So and you? Better scissoring. I just need my poodle to practice on.
Right now, I'm trying to find a good work-life balance.
You're busy or shit.
And it's a lot of, because I'm just you know, a lot of things, all of a sudden I got a bunch of students.
Yes.
So now I'm like, I got to figure out how to balance this all.
Yeah.
So I'm fine, but it's just like trying to figure out what works and play with it still. So
Yeah.
but I'm fucking busy.
I got some side things that I'm trying to find the. So we've talked about this before. I'm in menopause and my body is like turning on me. And I finally just was like almost in tears a couple days ago. I'm like, I'm miserable. I can't do this anymore. Like I'm actually finally going to reach out to my doctor and say, I want hormones. Like I've tried some natural shit. I get no results. I got all these supplements. I was getting no results. So I stopped all the supplements. I'd like just take a couple things now because it's like I had like 7 pills I was taking every day.
And it wasn't making a difference.
I wasn't seeing a difference. So it's like, why? I'm just going to cut this all out. I just have a couple things that I take now. And because I thought, well, now I'm going to go see my doctor and we'll have a long discussion. Well, my doctor's appointment's not till September. But I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do this. I am so freaking miserable. Like the weight gain, I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. Facial hairs, the stinkiness, the itchiness, the joint pain, like just, and it's all symptoms of, the brain fog. Like I can't remember 2 seconds. I'll think of something and I'll open up my computer and then I'll sit there and like, why did I open the computer? Like I was going to look something up. And I'm like looking around trying to figure out what was it? And it's like, it's so incredible. Like it's constant now.
Yeah.
And I'm just fucking miserable. So I called the doctor and they give me in a couple weeks, which is better than September. But even with that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to message him because I want him to know all my symptoms and I want him to know that I want something. Like I'm not, don't tell me to take calcium. Don't tell me to drink water and take a walk. I want something. So if be prepared to give me something.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared to give me something, tell me now. I will find someone who will.
Yeah.
But so I got to do that. All right. Stay teachable. The best groomers never stop learning. I've always say, don't limit yourself to one source. Talk to every groomer you can. Ask the same question. We had somebody come to the booth this weekend and they asked, what is your, well, I can't remember how she said it. What do you recommend for your blades, like cleaning your blades? Or how do you clean your blades? I can't remember how she said it, but I said, well, I can tell you what I do, my process for cleaning. She's like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. She said, I'm just asking different people so I could see what different people do. Because we've got cleaners and oils and all these different,
all sorts of things.
I mean, everybody's got their own idea. When I was in school, we Kool-Lubed everything, and that was our disinfectant, which just is shit for your clippers. But we didn't know. We never taught maintenance in school, right? It wasn't ever taught. But I said, well, this is what I do: is soap and water. I use a little shampoo, hot water, take a toothbrush, scrub my blades, rinse them, and then I blow dry them really good, and then I oil them and I put them in the drawer. And I told her, I said, and I have lots of blades so they can sit. Like they might sit for a full week before I touch them again because I have that many blades. And I said, I have enough blades. I use one per animal. I said, I have clean blades and dirty blades. But that's my process.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And, what she does with that information and what other information she's got from other groomers, I don't know.
She'll find what she thinks is best.
Right. And I think that's the point, is what works for me. Kind of like the whole dryer thing. You hear people all the time, do it this way, do it that way. And it's like, well, I'll do it my way. What's going to work for me. Pricing, another one. People are always talking about pricing in these groups. And it's like, first of all, this person that's asking about prices, where do they live?
Yeah.
Because what's a normal price range in, Los Angeles, California, or New York City is not going to be the same price range for, Olathe, Kansas.
Yeah.
Or Davenport, Iowa, right? So, and the whole charge more, you're worth more. I don't know who this groomer is. Are they?
Do we know what their worth is?
I don't know what their worth is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, our time is valuable.
Yeah.
All of our time is valuable. But that doesn't necessarily mean we all should be charging the same amount. All right. So stay teachable. Continuing education, it's out there. Get it? Listen to the younger groomers too. Like, quit thinking that, oh, well, I've been grooming for 30 years. What's a 10-year groomer going to teach me?
I learn from my students all the time. Yeah, you can learn so much from younger groomers, even people who, like I said, my students, they teach me things all the time. I had one that she had been a bather somewhere else, had a very similar bathtub to us, and she had figured out that putting a towel down on the ramp makes it easier for them to get up or walk up the ramp. And now we use that all the time because I was like, that's genius.
Yeah, you don't have a groomer's helper, you use another loop.
Yeah.
A second loop around your pole can hold them forward. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it's better than I need this dog still.
Yeah.
That's how the groomer's helper got started, right? Like somebody was tying the dogs a certain way and somebody's seen it and thought, oh, that's genius. And then they created this groomer's helper that we spend gobs of money on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's glorious.
Those kits are what, $150?
It's glorious, but it's like, it started with somebody just doing something. Belly band, same thing. It started with somebody just doing something. And then it gets, and then they just go further with it. And yeah, remain teachable. You can learn from non-groomers things that will be, that can be helpful in your grooming.
I've learned a lot from hairstylists.
Right. Learn from your mentors, obviously, and then learn from the pets. Mm-hmm. Learn how to read the pets and listen to the pets. That's why behavior handling is so important. Let's see. Humility is one of the greatest professional strengths, right? Stay humble. Okay, so the crystal of the episode is rainbow fluorite. Pretty. It's a stone known
big ass rainbow fluorite.
Yeah, I know. I love this.
Holy shit.
It's a stone known for clarity and mental enhancement. It has ability to assist in clearing the negative energy and aid decision making, and it's an absorber of negative energy, specifically within one's aura and mind. So it is actually a perfect stone when you're doing this kind of reflecting and inner work. All right, we have gotten to the end, so it's your oracle pull.
Yep.
What you got?
So I got persist. May your ripples build the swell. Whether storms rage or gentle waters kiss the coast, the waves continue to the shore. The sea keeps moving, whether or not you choose to swim. Sorry. Nibbler's trying to kiss me. Always rising and resting, one wave at a time. May you determine your destination. May small steps lead you forward. May you journey onward with stamina and tenacity, resting as you rise. And the mantra is, I move onward as I rise and as I rest. So
I think that's very fitting.
Yeah.
Inner growth.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So
get that rising and resting in, guys.
That's right. So it's not perfection. It's not about getting awarded or rewarded. It's just growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always pretty. It's not always, sometimes it's painful, but we're changing, we're growing, whether we like it or not. So Embrace it. All right. So as above, so below, may your pets be clean and your spirits low. Till next time. Bye. Yay.